ever said to yourself, I just don't have enough hours in the day? And of course, guys, we'll never have more hours in the day, no matter how much we wish for them, right?
Yeah, but today we're going to share with you a step-by-step process to make it feel like you have more hours in the day. And you're going to gain more control over your time, you're going to get more clarity of thought and more peace of mind.
What's up, guys? We're Demir and Carey, the founders of Lifehack Bootcamp. We're so excited to share this special recording because it tackles 3 of the most common, most hard to beat productivity issues. And these 3 issues are decision fatigue, analysis paralysis, and perfectionism. These issues are actually all related. So with this one recording, you'll be able to tackle all 3 of them.
Yeah, so first let's talk about what decision fatigue is and why it's so important in your life. Decision fatigue is like physical exhaustion, but with our brains. It's where our mental strength is running out and the quality of our decisions starts to deteriorate. So have you ever reached the end of your day and you're making good food decisions the whole day long, and then right there at 8 p.m. you break down and you eat a piece of cake for dinner, right? So that shows how our willpower wears down throughout the day, especially when we're asking our brain to make a lot of tough decisions throughout the day.
Exactly. No matter how rational and high-minded you try to be, we know now that you can't make decision after decision without paying a real biological price.
Yes.
And it's different from ordinary physical fatigue in that you're not necessarily consciously aware of being tired, but you're really low on mental energy. And studies show that we have a decision bank of about 200 decisions we can make per day, after which decision fatigue kicks in. And this includes any and all decisions, from what to wear, to what new product to launch for your business, to what route to take driving home from work.
So the more choices you make throughout the day, the harder each one becomes on your brain. You're drawing down on that decision bank. And eventually our brain kicks in to help us out, and it looks for shortcuts. And so one shortcut is to become reckless. That's why reckless, right? You're more likely to act impulsively instead of expending the energy to think through all the consequences. So we eat that candy bar, or we fail to work on our side business in the evening, and we just tell ourselves something like, oh, this is just a gimme, or I'll do it later, I'm just too tired.
Yeah, we start to make excuses. And the other shortcut is actually the ultimate energy saver, which is do nothing. So instead of agonizing over decisions, we choose to avoid any choice whatsoever. But ducking a decision can often create bigger problems in the long run. In the moment, of course, it eases that mental strain.
But this option can lead to analysis paralysis.
Yes.
And that's where we just loop over and over again on decisions and we can't seem to make a choice, right? Have you ever found yourself just thinking, I don't know which direction to go? Maybe on a business decision, you're just doing endless research on it, but you're not reaching a decision point. So have you ever found yourself researching a new plugin for your email for hours and hours instead of just making a decision and moving forward?
If you're the type of person who'd rather research, then your brain is trying to avoid reaching that difficult decision. It's trying to help you conserve the massive amount of energy that it takes to decisively commit to one direction. Studies show that the moment of decision and then the implementation of the decision is where most of your cognitive energy is expended. The problem is, you're also slowly draining your mental power by flooding your brain with options.
Analysis paralysis stems from our uncertainty over the choices that we're facing and the uncertainty around whether we're ready to do what we're trying to do. So we're afraid that we're not qualified. We're afraid that we're making the wrong choice. We're afraid of failing. And these fears literally petrify us. So we're going to share a process for dodging these fears as well.
Our desire to be successful and gain approval from others is also at the root of our need to make things perfect. Perfectionism is a tricky productivity issue and actually closely related to analysis paralysis. I'm a perfectionist, so I know this feeling very, very well. You know that you're spending too long on something, but your need to get it just right is overwhelming you. So you put in extra hours, you spend extra money, and you end up avoiding delegating tasks to other people because you want it done just right. But at the end of the day, if you ask yourself why it needs to be so perfect, it's actually because your ego is afraid of being told your work isn't good enough, that you aren't good enough.
Totally, that's so true. So the problem, of course, is that perfect is actually the enemy of good enough. And so today we're going to revise that mindset around perfectionism, and we're going to guide you to a much more empowering belief. If you know you want to prevent decision fatigue, dodge analysis paralysis, and overcome perfectionism, then next we're going to share with you our hacks and tips for overcoming that basic ingrained psychology.
So first, we're going to share some things you can do in advance to circumvent these issues altogether. And then we'll share things you can do in the moment to help your brain make more powerful decisions. So if you use these tools consistently, you'll become the type of person who loves taking decisive action and uses psychology in their favor to make the best decisions possible. Let's start with 5 things you can do in advance to stave off decision fatigue.
Okay, number 1, and write this down. Plan the night before, or even the week before, or the month ahead of time. We are huge believers in the power of pre-planning. Guys, the further you can plan ahead of something, the more likely you are to optimize it in your favor. Guys, when you plan ahead of things, you get more perceived and real control. And when you have perceived and real control over your life, your stress levels go down, your anxiety goes down, and your enjoyment of your work goes way up. Sure, life is always going to throw you some curveballs, and that's just part of the deal. But for the things you can plan, the things you can predict, planning ahead will reduce your decision fatigue massively.
Totally. For example, plan what you're going to eat and what you're going to wear the night before. Even plan your hairstyle and your makeup. Pack your bag for work. Plan the kids' after-school snack. Schedule in time to work on your side business. And definitely do not schedule yourself with back-to-back meetings all day long. So this way, when you wake up tomorrow, your cognitive energy is freed up to use on high-value decisions instead of these minutia.
Number 2, make the big decisions in your morning, and don't make any big decisions after 4 p.m. Guys, our brains make our best decisions in the first 3 hours after we wake up. And these are the best hours for other folks around you too. So you want to schedule your important meetings in the morning before the afternoon lull hits everyone in the office. Not only do you become more cranky and fatigued, your manager becomes more cranky and fatigued, and your coworkers.
Totally. There's an often referenced study about judges who were hearing parolees' appeals for reduced sentences. And this study revealed that as the day wore on, and as the judges got more decision fatigued and tired and hungry, they subconsciously started changing their verdicts. They were much more likely to reject the appeals from the parolees. And this makes sense, because if you remember, this is an energy-saving shortcut. The judges would much rather maintain status quo instead of agonizing over a decision to reduce their parole. Remember that forfeiting a decision often creates bigger problems in the long run, but for the moment, it eases your mental strain.
All right, so that's number 2. Make your big decisions in the morning when your brain is fresh.
Number 3, do the most important things first. So not only the most important things in your day, but even front load your entire week with the most important tasks that really move the ball forward. So you can plan on your brain power decreasing throughout the day and throughout the week. So front loading your most important work is crucial to make sure you aren't wasting your peak energy on low value tasks.
Yeah, when are you more likely to eat that piece of cake? Monday at 8 p.m. or Friday at 8 p.m.? You get that domino effect through your week where you're a little tired on Monday, more on Tuesday, more on Wednesday, more on Thursday, and by Friday, your cognitive load is blown out of the water.
All right, number 4, close your back doors. This is where you get committed, you set deadlines, and you gotta close off your escape routes, right? If you know you take too long making decisions or you face analysis paralysis, remember, taking massive imperfect action is better than taking no action at all. And we just talked with Amy about leveraging accountability to create this kind of positive action in your life.
Yeah.
So make sure you create at least 2 forms of accountability. Accountability is the fastest way to increase your personal willpower and your commitment levels. So it actually helps us ward off decision fatigue and analysis paralysis too.
Number 5, simplify, simplify, simplify. Cut decisions from your life. Reduce the number of decisions you have to make. This is a huge hack for reducing your decision fatigue and relieving your mental strain, and it gives you an excuse to say no a little bit in your life. So here's some examples, right? One is just to have the same uniform or a set of uniforms that you take to work. People like Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, even people like Sheryl Sandberg institute this policy because they know that their decision-making bank gets drained easily, and they don't want to waste that on stupid decisions. If you want to be the LeBron James of your life, you want to create routines throughout your day that you do always, no matter what, same way, same route to work, automate your grocery orders, eat the same thing for lunch, pre-pack your food on Sundays.
Yeah, and for you ladies, decide on 2 different hairstyles and alternate them every day. I would even simplify your makeup routine as much as you can and make a checklist for applying makeup that you can follow every morning. I even take photos of all my outfits so it's easy to pick one out.
We like to say that the arc of life hacking bends towards minimalism, which is just a fancy way of saying that you can take simplification to an extreme level and get extreme benefit. So we downsized our 3-bedroom house in Los Angeles to just owning 3 bags that we cart along with us wherever we are in the world. So that feeling of having no clutter, no extra stuff, it creates massive mental relief. But if you don't want to get rid of your house, I understand. Here's some things you can do right away.
Yeah, declutter your space ruthlessly. I recommend checking out Marie Kondo's book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and then taking action on her advice. I mean, even delete your mental clutter. You can do things like deleting apps from your phone. Yes, seriously, like just delete all your apps and download them back one by one as you actually need it.
Yeah, Cal Newport, the author of Deep Work, takes a similar approach. He reduces all of his social media and news and cut it all out and just adds it back in as needed. Guys, you're not gonna miss these apps and media outlets when you're wasting time. All right, so that's 5 ways you can optimize your life to prevent decision fatigue and analysis paralysis. But what about when you're in the middle of your week? What about when that mental fog hits you hard? Is there any defense?
Yeah, there definitely is. So next we're gonna share 5 techniques for how to regain clarity and power in the moment. So you've realized that your mental power is tapped out. You know you're in trouble, so what do you do? Number 1, ask yourself these questions. There's gonna be 4 questions to help understand what's really important about the decision you're trying to make or the problem you're trying to solve. These questions are designed to help you stay connected to the vision or shortcut you to the end goal.
So write these down, put them on a sticky note, put it in front of you. First, how important is this decision to the final outcome really? I mean, if you're starting a new business, it's incredibly important to understand your target market.
Yeah.
That's important. It's not as important to choose the font on your website.
Right.
So don't agonize over these decisions that just don't have a huge impact on the final goal you're shooting for.
All right, second question. What's the number 1 metric I need to understand here? So this is an exercise to help you evaluate your option set. If you're trying to decide between web hosting services, for example, what really matters? Is it the customer service or is it the load time of your website? Decide what's most important to you.
Number 3, which option would I be more motivated to make succeed? So this is great for all you analysis paralysis experts out there. I mean, sometimes we're faced with a decision and we truly don't know which direction to go. And both options seem great, but which one inspires us more to make it successful? I mean, which one do we want to throw our best work into? So instead of getting stuck over analyzing the problem, just go ahead and find a solution, pick it, and use your time and all of your energy and cognitive load coming up with a real actionable plan to create some success in your life.
Yeah, and to make that decision actually succeed. So here's the 4th question. Am I the best person to make this decision? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I love it when I realize I can actually outsource a decision to somebody else. Surrounding yourself with experts who can just help you make decisions is a fantastic hack. For example, if you aren't a highly trained UX designer, you probably shouldn't be making decisions about user experience, right? The best decision makers out there know when to outsource the decision to someone who can make the best decision.
So that was the first hack, the 4 questions you can ask that reduce your cognitive load and get you into action. Here's your second hack, and this one's quick, but it's really powerful. Eat something. Glucose is proven to spike your willpower even if it's temporary. So if you're up against a big decision, you're just feeling depleted or hungry, depressed, anxious, grab a snack. Eat something before you react and make a decision.
Totally. All right, 3rd hack. Aim for 90% perfection. So all you perfectionists, make sure you write this one down right here. So this is what startups use to iterate quickly. They approach problems with this iterative mindset, meaning they deliberately try not to make it perfect right away. They actually create minimum viable products and then send them out to the market, get feedback from consumers, and then improve on the product and test it again and again.
Yeah, so you can approach your projects in the same way. Instead of asking, is this perfect? Get a draft out there, get it 90% done, and then iterate from success.
Okay, fourth hack. Stop trying to feel prepared. Take a cue from Richard Branson and start actually before you feel ready. Branson has started so many businesses that it's simply not possible for him to have felt prepared and qualified and ready to start all of them.
Yeah, he probably wasn't even prepared for any of them, right? He never flew a plane before he started Virgin Airlines, and he started an airline company anyways. So he's a great example of how the chosen ones really choose themselves and they sort out the rest later.
Totally. So if you're struggling to make a decision because you're feeling inadequate or untrained or just simply not ready, then this is a great technique to remember. Act before you feel ready. You might feel, uncertain or unprepared or unqualified, but you definitely have enough to start. And in the end, action is what decides our success or failure. So the next time you're stuck in analysis mode, remember, successful people start before they feel ready and figure the rest out on the way.
Okay, here's your fifth hack. Relax your mind. And relaxing your mind is the only way to refresh yourself. So you can do this through sleep, or you can do it through meditation or mindfulness. I just like to sometimes take a 5-minute vacation from thinking, right? So what's funny is that simply relaxing your body isn't enough. Guys, we all know that you watch 10 hours of Netflix and you're not gonna feel better. You actually feel more tired, you feel more anxious, because it really does very little for our mind. So relaxing your mind, even 5 minutes, is transformative.
Yeah,
right?
We like to spend 5 to 10 minutes at a time meditating, followed by a series of positive affirmations that are designed to rewire our existing negative mindsets. For example, I am confident, I am capable, I am successful, and I am excited to bring this work to other people.
And guys, we're gonna throw a bonus hack your way. This is number 6, bonus hack.
And that is to time box your decision making. So although this is a super advanced way to think about it, it's actually really simple to do. So just decide how much time you need to decide something and force yourself to decide on it in that timeline. Play a game with yourself. You probably heard about the paradox of choice, right?
Yeah, remember when we walk into Blockbuster Video and you're thinking you're just gonna grab a movie for the night, and you end up walking out 2 hours later, you're upset, you're tired, you're hungry, and you're totally unhappy with the videos you chose. That's the paradox of choice.
Yeah, the longer we take deciding something, the less happy we are with the outcome.
Again, it's because when we get exhausted, we want to avoid making decisions. So we end up going down that massive rabbit hole. But when you time box the decision, for example, just walking into the video store and saying, I have only 15 minutes to make a choice here, you short circuit that from happening.
So funny story, when we got married, we actually decided to make every decision about our wedding in 15 minutes. And we had a blast planning our wedding because we didn't allow the paradox of choice to set in and ruin our mindset.
I can't believe she let me do that.
All right, so those are 5 techniques you can use in the moment to reduce your decision fatigue and improve your mental clarity. Plus, 1 bonus technique.
Guys, save this recording somewhere where you can watch it again, reference it later, and go to our website right now and sign up for more information like this. We're at lifehackbootcamp.com. That's www.lifehackbootcamp.com. You can enter your email address and we will send you weekly hacks delivered straight to your inbox.
Once again, we're Demir and Carey, the founders of Lifehack Bootcamp. Thanks so much for listening, guys.